So today's question is, what is 2/3 of an hour? And very often when we see fractions and we see how to solve for fractions, we get panicky, right? But let's see what we know. We do know what an hour is, and an hour, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. We also know that 2/3 is a fraction. We have to figure out what's 2/3 of 60 minutes. So let's rewrite this. 2/3 of 60 minutes. Much easier than you think. But right now we're going to put 2/3 off to the side because we don't know that. So we're going to make it a little easier. Think about an easier fraction with thirds. Let's first figure out what 1/3 of an hour is, right? So that was step A. Step B, 1/3 of 60 minutes. Well, remember that a fraction, you're dividing something. So we're going to divide 60 minutes into 3 equal parts. But let's make it really, really basic and fundamental for ourselves, right? If I cover this up and I say 6 divided by what equals 3, or 3 times what equals 6, we've got 3 times 2 equals 6. Well, now there's a 0 here. 1/3 is the same as 3. So now 3 times what equals 60 minutes. This is algebra. Okay, 3 times what? If 3 times 2 equals 6, then 3 times, with that 0, 20 equals 60 minutes, or 1 hour. Okay, so now 1/3 of an hour, this pencil's all messed up, equals 20 minutes. Okay, so now part C is, if 1/3 of an hour is 20 minutes, what would 2/3 equal? Oop. One-third equals 20 minutes. So 20 times 2 equals exactly 40 minutes. So 2/3 of an hour equals 40 minutes. And I'm going to show you one other way that we can do this, or a couple of other ways. So 2/3 of an hour. I thought I pressed pause, but apparently not. My apologies. Okay, so we could start out the same way. We know that 60 minutes equals 1 hour. And now we have to figure out what 2/3 of 60 minutes equals. All right? So the next thing we can do is we can say, let's try another strategy. That's A. B, when we rewrite all of this, right? So now we could say 3 times what equals 60. So we know that 3 times 20 equals 60. So we took care of this, and we took care of this, right? So now 3 times 20. Now we have to take this top part, the numerator, pardon me. Sorry, this pencil's all messed up. And we say 20 times 2 equals what? 40. 40 minutes. And there you go. So 2/3 of an hour equals 40 minutes. So now let's take the same two strategies and apply it. 2/10 of an hour. Okay, so again, step A, we know that an hour equals 60 minutes. All right? And now we have to figure out what 2/10 of an hour is. We don't even know what 1/10 is. So part B, we make it nice and easy. Let's first, oh, this pencil is awful. So now we need to figure out what 1/10 of 60. Well, 10 times what equals 60? That's awesome. 10 times 6 equals 60. All right, so therefore, 1/10 of an hour, 1/10 of an hour equals 6 minutes. So what would 2/10 of an hour? Okay, so you take 6 minutes, you might say 6 plus 6 equals 12 minutes. That's obvious. You can do 6 times 2 because this is what we have in our fraction over here. 2/10, 6 times 2 equals 12 minutes. So therefore, 2/10 of an hour equals, I'm just running out of space so it can stay in the key, equals 12 minutes. So now let's try the second strategy. You might have something different, but 2/10 of an hour, we do know that, again, step A, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So now we can rewrite it as 2/10 of 60. Well, again, what can we do? So we can take this, 10 times what equals 60? We know that 10 times 6 equals 60. 10 times 6 equals 60. And then, I'm just going to put a little squiggle box to make it a little bit different. Then we have to take this number and multiply it by this one. And then 2 times 6, we take the numerator and we multiply it by our product. All right? So 2 times 6 equals, our factor. 2 times 6 equals 12. So 12 minutes is 2/3 of an hour. All right, so first we take the denominator here, we multiply it or divide, it doesn't matter. 60 divided by 10 or 10 fits into 60 6 times. Well, we can't forget about the numerator. And then we multiply the numerator by our answer, which then becomes a product. 2 times 6 equals 12, and 12 minutes is 2/3 of an hour.